I wanted to share an email from Cheryl that she sent. She's a long-term Dharma student who's been following teachings and comes here very often. And I've been teaching Aryadeva's 400 stanzas, and we've talked a lot about impermanence and death and the unsatisfactory nature and so of samsaric life and cyclic existence and so forth. So she just sent some of her reflections on this. So she said, I wanted to share some reflections I had a few weeks ago as I was out for a walk after listening to one of Aryadeva's teachings. As I walked past some dog poop, the thought arose that if I should die at that moment and fall into that dog poop, or die in a situation where everyone around is cheering at my death, I would have to be absolutely confident in the 3 jewels and not freak out. But you think, of all the people who die in bombing strikes, in Syria, who are just living their lives and things happen. I mean, people get killed all of a sudden from things that they have no control over, and you have to be totally ready at that moment. Yeah. I thought about having so many preferences can really hurt us now and at the time of death. I don't like this or that smell, I don't like this or that taste. Yeah, this was closely followed by many more thoughts about actively dying. And she shared some of these. One is, I can't be proud or seek approval. Think at the time of death. Do you want that in your mind? I cannot be attached to absolutely anything. I cannot see myself as the center of the universe or get into poor me. I have to die with gratitude for the kindness of others and remember the dissatisfaction, suffering, miseries, and uncertainties of cyclic existence. I have to remember dependent arising and emptiness. I cannot fear what is certain, death, and need to rejoice at the precious Dharma opportunities I had and aspire that myself and others always have these precious opportunities all the way to complete awakening. I must live this life in that way right now and remember all those things with joyous effort and confidence to keep creating as much virtue as I can create for as much virtue as I can create the causes for a peaceful death without grasping onto anything. I'm not sure if it's realistic to think that I could possibly remember any or all of those things at death. But what I did think was that cultivating the bodhisattva path and preparation for one's own death are similar, that how I live will dictate the state of mind in which I die, which is a scary thought for me because there's so much habitual negative chatter. Although the catalyst for this was the Aryadeva teachings, I am finding more and more that all the teachings are so connected that I can't really separate them out and say a particular topic is only about that one thing. I think the whole path is always in there in some way. Good, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. So I think these, especially this idea that we have to, the way we want to die, what we want to have in our mind as we die, which is so important because that will affect how we get reborn, is the exact same thoughts we should cultivate during our life. Because how we die is very much how we live. Hospice, people say that all the time. You can see that very easily in family dynamics and how people are, with their minds. And so, seeing that, it makes more sense to cultivate now the mental state that we want to have at the time of death and carry with us into the next life. rather than get involved in petty squabbles, and I want this, and I don't want that, and why did this person say this, and why did that person say that, and won't this person get off my back, and I feel so offended when they said this, and my reputation this, and all this stuff. You know, that's so wearying, isn't it? You know, the things that we're so touchy and prickly about, it really drains our energy. And none of that stuff, who wants to be thinking about it at the time we die? So if we don't want to think about it then, why waste our life when we're healthy and we have a clear mind fretting about that stuff right now? It doesn't make any sense. So it makes more sense to put our energy into cultivating the kind of attitudes and emotions we want to have and becoming the kind of people that we want to be.